What's up, guys? How are you? Happy Monday. God, it was a great weekend. I had a great time. I worked all weekend, but at the same time, I had a great night on Friday. Things are going well on my side of the woods, and I hope things are going well for you. And today I got a cool ass fucking California punk band with me. We're gonna talk to them and a whole bunch more. So let's just get this shit fucking started.
In place to keep us in chains by a show of hands. Who else is sick and tired of the same 1%? Trying to keep us small, trying to keep us from getting out, minimizing the struggles they've caused, saying we're not working hard enough.
We really should stop this fighting. Otherwise, we'll miss the fireworks.
There won't be any fireworks.
And here we go.
And welcome everybody to Suck It. I am the great and powerful King of Kings, Prince of all that is awesome, Derek. How the fuck are you doing today on this Monday, May 24th of the year that is 2021? Whew. Like I said in the intro, I had a good weekend. I hope you did as well. Shit's starting to get back to normal. I hope you guys got, wherever you are in the country, got your fucking concert tickets for what, Lollapalooza or fucking Blue Ridge Fest or fucking where else? Not Rock on the Range. Welcome to Rockville or wherever you fucking are. Make sure you get tickets. Go see some live music. Get back to fucking normal, because that's what we need right now is live fucking music, and it's coming back. Thank the heavens, or the hells, or the ground, or trees, whatever the fuck you believe in, just thank it, okay? Because live music is coming back, and it's coming back louder than ever, too. I mean, some of these cards are just stacked way fuller than they've ever been in the past. So go out there, enjoy some new music, some bands that you've probably never seen before. Make sure you get there early. Get there on, and actually see the opening acts. Appreciate what you have, because we lost it for so long. Appreciate that shit. And today, we're going to talk about some more appreciated music, because today I've got a band out of California who is a surfer / skate punk band. However, the label doesn't matter, because they kind of do it all, especially with, if you've heard them in the past, the newest release doesn't sound, it's kind of a departure from their latest, from their previous stuff, which I kind of like. It's kind of interesting. It's kind of adds a new little twist to the band, and I really, really like it. So, you know what? They got their White Claws in hand. They're fucking sitting in a damn hot tub in true California style. So let's go ahead and bring on the guys from Wanted Noise.
Cheers to you.
Cheers.
What's going on, guys?
Well, as you can see, we're sitting here in the hot tub. Got some White Claws, an average day in San Diego for Suri and I.
Very,
having
like
a good
I said,
time and talking about music.
Exactly. That's what we're here to do. Talk about music and talk about, the business and everything else in between, because that's what we do best here. But yeah, I mean, fucking White Claw, really though?
Hey, whatever's around, man. It's what we have at the moment.
I mean,
Dude,
I'm drinking a Diet Mountain Dew. I can't complain,
Yeah,
Yeah, dude. California White Claw is where all the babes are at these days.
Wait. I got some babes over here on the East Coast and DC area.
Are they drinking Mountain Dew?
Probably. Either
It's
that or
cool.
Dr. Pepper.
I just had some Baja Blast at T-Bell the other day, so I vibe with it.
Yeah.
See, there you go. See? That's what matters most. If we were doing this live, I'd be drinking a beer right along with you. But, I got plans tonight. I got to go on a date and shit.
Nice. Right on.
So, how are you guys? How's everything going over there?
Yeah, it's good. It's been a long, quiet stretch in terms of shows, obviously, but we've been really busy working on this album for the last couple of years behind the scenes.
Yeah.
So once our studio reopened, kind of got back in and have just been trying to finish this album. We started back May 19th, 2019. So we started recording it a minute ago now.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen you guys release some stuff since then, but you haven't released a full album. You know, you guys released a single or two here and there. And even the newest song, More Sunrises, which is fucking badass, but it's kind of a departure from your previous songs. It's a lot more, dare I say, ska-esque.
Oh, I feel that.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of has some elements of ska in there, more elements of like surfers punk. You know, a lot less of there's a lot of clean vocals in it. It's not very scratchy vocals. It's very clean, and it's kind of pop punky. It almost reminded me a little bit of Blink a little bit.
For sure.
So it kind of had a little bit of everything into it. I really liked it.
Thank you.
Hell yeah. Thanks, yeah.
I'll go ahead and chat a little bit on that one. That's one track that I happened to write, and something I think that is a benefit to our band, and also kind of what you're going to be seeing, especially on this new record, is all three of us on the strings in the front write songs and sing as well. So we kind of have a, I don't know, 3-fork approach to songwriting, and that happened to be one of my tunes, and I happen to be kind of really influenced by ska and pop punk. That's kind of where I grew up and started playing music into in like high school and whatnot. So I guess a lot of those influences kind of came out in More Sunrises. We like to experiment with the different types of, you know, genres of punk that we're playing, and that one happened to be just a pretty classic like posse punk sort of vibe to that one.
Yeah, Thursday night. So we're recording this on Friday. We're airing this on Monday. So Thursday night, I had a conversation with a punk band out of Canada, and we kind of had a similar.
Belvedere, right?
Who?
Was that Belvedere?
No, it wasn't Belvedere. It was.
Oh, okay.
No, I haven't talked to Belvedere yet. I've been trying to get Mike to book them for a while, but they're never available when I'm available. No, last night I talked to I talked to Block Parent last night.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah,
I was really stoked on Belvedere's new album that just came out.
I know. That's what I want. I mean, that's why I've been wanting to talk to him. So it's like, it's fucking amazing.
Yeah, it's so sick.
But we had a similar conversation last night with Block. I had a conversation last night with Block Parent about, you know, the whole idea that about the genre, you know, bullshit within punk and rock, you know, because there's so, you know, I only listen to death metal. I only listen to deathcore. What the fuck's the difference between death metal and deathcore? I don't fucking know. You know, I only listen to hardcore. I only listen to this. And you know, and then even on the punk side, it's I only listen to skate punk, or I only listen to fucking, you know, old punk or hard. It's like, oh my God, enough is enough. But like bands that like yours and even like, you know, Block Parent and Belvedere and all these other bands, they kind of bend the rules, if there is any, you know, on that kind of stuff, which I really, really like, because for the longest time, over the last 15, 20 years, I've noticed that divide in the rock community about, you know, oh, it has to be this, or don't label me as this, or I only listen to this, like I just said. And I like it when bands that normally do one thing will do another, or they'll put on an album and have like 10 different genres on it, and kind of surprise you with every single track. I really enjoy that. Yeah,
we're definitely going for that for sure. We had a kind of write-up or review of our single lately, and they described us as a collective. And the collective approach and kind of like where we're all coming from and share with the songwriting, like really shows in our album overall. I think we've been playing together for about 7 years now, and we've kind of had some convergent things happen where just as we've all been playing together for a certain amount of time, we start to kind of find more of a unique style, that there is a sound that carries between all the songs, but not like in the way of Blink-182 or something.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I like I said, I really, really like that. Cause like another band of mine that I just talked to like a week ago, by the name of Ashes to Omens, or Georgia metal band. They're coming out with a new album called Black Boxes. And what's really kind of cool is that each song is written by a different member of the band. And they all kind of collectively, it's a 5-piece band too. So like, there's a couple different, yeah. So they're a little bit all over the place with this album.
Yeah.
And the whole idea of black boxes, because like everybody in the band sits in their own little box, and they've all experienced their own little things. So this album was kind of like a telling of the entire band story through their own, their own lyrics, their own words, their own riffs, and own, so each band member wrote the entire song. And then it was kind of, like you said, a collective. Yeah. And I really, really, again, I really enjoy that, that kind of stuff, because, as much as I love bands with that, that front man that does it all, and then everybody else just kind of writes their own parts and fills in the gaps, that whole idea of a collective is much more, what's the word? I don't want to say enjoyable, because it's just as enjoyable.
It's fun.
It's more fun. It's more fun, yeah. But it also makes you think more.
Yeah.
Because especially when you find out, oh, this was written by the bassist, or this was written by the drummer, and then you're kind of like, oh, wait, okay, I kind of get it. Okay, this is his experience and stuff like that, and it kind of brings you closer to the band. Because unless all the bands are out there doing interviews like this, where we just sit and chat and actually have conversations, unless they're like written by PR agents where you can only say this, you don't really get to know the band. But in cases like that, you really start to get to understand the band.
Yeah.
I just listen to the different songs and like pick out this kind of sounds like this, or this kind of sounds like this. For us, I think it might be, you could listen to one song and be like, oh, they probably like listen to Mad Caddies, or they were into like kind of the ska scene when they're growing up. And then the next song comes around and you're like, oh, they know some Sabbath riffs too. Like they know what they're doing with the whole like old school metal thing as well. So
yeah, and our next single that's coming out, our bassist wrote it, and he writes a lot of more kind of shoegaze style stuff. So it's more kind of reminds people of like early Title Fight or something.
Oh wow.
Yeah, but just like Black Boxes, we also switch songwriter for every song on this album. So it's kind of checkers between myself and then Caleb and our bassist, and yeah, it's just chopped up kind of back and forth. But a lot of these songs we've actually been playing for a long time now in terms of our band's life. So there's a good couple songs on here that people who have seen our shows will recognize that they've never heard a recording of before.
That's cool. I like that. It gives that build up, and now they can listen to one of their favorite songs that they never heard recorded. I like that. One of the things I do like about this this song, and I've been talking about this a lot lately, is the fact that over the last 18 months, it's however long it's been, that we haven't had concerts. One of the things I think that's been lost is when a band can get together and do something. They've been doing music videos, but some of the music videos that have come out have just been, let's just get together in a warehouse and record it, and kind of loses the feeling a little bit. Now, there's a place for that with some songs, but I like the songs that actually tell a story. And as quirky and as stupid as the story that you guys told in this music video was, just the story of going to get beer. I mean, it's literally the story of a guy riding down the fucking street on a cooler on a skateboard going to get beer. It's dumb as shit, but it's so fun to watch. And it's just like, yes, I love it. And we had beer the whole time. I fucking loved it. It was great.
I love it, man. You really got that story perfect. That really stoked that came off just right.
Yeah, and then the dinosaur dancing, or the unicorn, whatever it was, dancing in the background. I mean, it was like, what the hell? Or he's so hot.
That's definitely our best scene.
That was so fucking good. But it really sold the song, and again, it kind of added that extra layer, like I was saying before, to that whole surfer ska type, feel to it. And again, it was a complete departure from, in my opinion, you guys might feel differently, but it sounded to me like, because I went back and I listened to a bunch of other songs, and I was like, yeah, they haven't done anything like this before. And I really, really enjoyed it, because, because the whole summer on the beach, playing just fucking music, that added a whole other layer to it because it made it seem like, hey, you guys are just wanting to have fun, get out on the fucking beach again because haven't been able to go on the beach for so long.
Yeah, exactly.
So it kind of was like, we're just happy. Let's fucking play a happy song. And with clean vocals and a little bit of fucking, chicka chicka, ska vibe. It was fucking awesome. It was just great.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, thanks a lot. That's awesome.
So, with, the new single that you got coming out soon, and then this one that you got just came out, and you were telling me before, Caleb, before, we got going, was, some of the places in town are getting ready to start calling you guys and start opening back up again. So what's the vibe like in the band knowing that, hey, we're finally going to be able to play some shows again?
I mean, I can speak for myself, and I think the entire band feels the same way. I'm ecstatic. I cannot wait to start playing live music again. We have done one or two little kind of DIY events at, friends' houses or in garages or something, and they were really, really fun. It was great to get back, not only playing shows, but just making sure that we're practicing to prepare for the shows. It brings us together in that way as well.
Yeah.
And to actually get on the stage at a legit show, we're really excited. And we've already had people reaching out to us, trying to set up dates. So we're pretty psyched.
Yeah, as somebody who's a former, gigging musician and someone who's now just a straight up fan and, lives on the other side of the music business and does this, when I started seeing a month or two ago all the festivals coming out, I was like, oh shit, is this really going to happen? Is this real? And then, it's like, oh, okay, so one festival posted. Oh shit, now another. And now another.
Oh, so many.
And now it's like, dude, it was like boom, 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 boom. It was Welcome to Rockville, the Fest in Gainesville. It was,
Punk in the Park.
Yeah.
Punk in the Park in Arizona.
Yeah.
Yes, Lollapalooza, Incarceration, Louder Than Life, Blue Ridge Fest, and it's just like boom, all these fucking festivals, and then a band that's been broken up for like 10 years on the metal side, Mudvayne, is getting back together for a tour. They haven't.
Oh yeah.
I was like,
badass.
oh, as a hardcore old school Mudvayne fan, I was stoked.
Hell
because
yeah.
like, and you say hell yeah because I was never really a fan of Hell Yeah, the band that kind of, was a super group after Mudvayne disbanded and, the old stuff. Like, I never really was a fan of that. As good as they are, I was just never really a fan. But, like, seeing some of these bands now, I was like, oh, shit. Back in the day, I never had a chance to see Mudvayne live. Now I get to see them. It's like, oh.
Yeah. That's so dope.
It's coming back, like I said, harder than it has in a long time. And to see them sell out so quickly.
Immediately.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, there's this local concert promoter in SoCal. His Instagram name is OC Sellout, but he really does like a ton for the South SoCal community. So he sets up shows, connects bands to people. Also just is the #1 fan and just promotes every band that he loves music and stuff. So he set out a fest. It's called a OC Sellout Fest. And he actually got Get Dead to play acoustic as the headliner. And then a couple bands. This band, Ready, Set, Survive, which is a San Diego band that we're friends with. And band Taken Days, which we're also friends with, which is an LA band that kind of just started. But he got these kind of up and coming bands on the show with Get Dead, and he released tickets just on Instagram, and they sold out within an hour.
I love that.
Within an hour, it was just nuts. And then because there was so much reception for the show, Get Dead actually decided that they're going to play a fully electric set. So they're going to play their new album fully electric for the show now. Yeah, so sick.
That is badass.
So badass.
Coming, y'all.
Yeah, I mean, it's coming back. And, like I said at the beginning of the show, the whole idea, because, I've seen it myself, and I'm sure you guys have seen it too. When you go to festivals, maybe half of the crowd shows up at the very beginning of the show, and then it gets more full and more full as the headliners show. If you're paying $135 for a 4-day fucking festival, see every goddamn band as you can.
Yeah, seriously.
But especially now, because over the last year, and I've said this a million times on the show, so I'm sure my fans are getting sick of me saying it. The bigger major label bands haven't been there for us. They haven't been making albums. They've barely been doing, live streams, if any at all.
Yeah.
And they've kind of abandoned us. And that wasn't their fault. We can blame their management and their label and stuff like that because it doesn't produce money. But either way, they haven't been there for us. And the indie bands and the indie label bands and these, smaller bands have. And they're the ones that's going to be opening up for these major label acts that haven't played in over a year.
Yeah.
They deserve the attention. They deserve that recognition because they've been there for us this entire time. And I really, really want people to kind of go out there and see, go out and see Foo Fighters at, Lollapalooza. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. That's a bucket list item for me that I still haven't done yet.
Yeah.
But you know what? There's 50 other bands on that card that deserve your recognition as well.
Absolutely. And when you go and see those first bands, a lot of times those can turn into your favorite bands years down the road. And then when everyone's like, oh, why weren't you at their set back at, like, you were at Lollapalooza, why didn't you just go watch their set, And so, to save yourself from future FOMO, you should go check them out, like, right now.
Yeah,
exactly.
Some of my favorite bands have been ones that were opening for a band I was planning to see, or bands that I've just been playing with or met, like, at local shows. So if you don't go, you won't know, my friend. You got to go to all of it.
Exactly. I don't think I've told this story before on my show, so it's kind of a new one because you brought it up. But about 7 or 8 years ago, I went to a festival in Tampa because I used to live in Florida, and their festival is called 98 Rock Fest. It's for the local rock station that's down there. But I always went, I always go at the very beginning of the show because I live by what I preach as far as that goes. Mm-hmm. I like seeing those kind of bands. But there was this one band, and I heard one song on Sirius XM before, and it was kind of catchy. I was like, okay, I know, I know that like the song, whatever. But I didn't know of the band. I didn't even know the band name. But then, they get up on stage, and I still had no idea who these guys were. But literally, the lead singer is up on stage with no shoes on, just cut off jeans and no shirt. I mean, this guy. Just they look homeless. I was like, who the fuck are these guys? And
that sounds familiar.
That's how this one looks most of the time.
So what was really weird is when the way the band started was this lead singer used to be the drummer for the band, and there used to be a different lead singer, and then when that guy left, he became the lead singer. So he still likes to drum, and he still likes to get crazy up on stage and stuff like that. So they have a second drum set for him that comes out during certain songs. And they was playing, I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? Because it was weird looking and had these metal spikes on the side. I'm like, what is going on? And then they start playing their set. I'm really starting to get catchy, really starting to enjoy what I'm listening to. And then they play that one song that I know. I'm like, oh, I know who these guys are. And they become one of my favorite bands since then. It's a band called Nothing More out of San Antonio, Texas.
Oh, dope. I think I've heard of them.
Yeah, it's more mainstream metal, rock, kind of like Shinedown-ish.
Okay.
But they have more of a message, in my opinion, and I think they're better musicians than Shinedown.
Nice. I love it.
Yeah.
So, but that's just my opinion. But either way, like, they become one of my favorite bands of all time. And if I didn't see them from that moment, I would have never, well, I've seen them 2 other times since then, but it got better and better and better since then. And it's just like, you never fucking know. You never know.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I can name a handful of bands that are like that, but that one right there just always stuck out to me because, like, thinking, oh my God, what the hell is this? And then turn into, one of the biggest rock bands of today, at least on our side of, on my side of the music, which is mainly metal. But at the same time, and again, I had this conversation last night as well, the whole idea of opening your eyes and ears to more of the rock scene, because punk is still rock, metal is still rock. Even pop punk is still rock. Get out of your head and get out of that genre and start really enjoying it because, in the last year that I've been doing the show and grown to, 800,000 downloads a month and 10 million downloads and blah, 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 blah. at first I was very, very hesitant of talking to bands that I wasn't familiar with or that weren't metal and stuff like that. Cause I'm like, what am I going to talk to these people about? But then I was like, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to talk to everybody and everybody. I don't care if you're rap, hip hop, whatever. And cause we always had that same conversation, and then eventually I was like, holy shit, they actually do like metal, and I'm having a conversation with this rap artist about Slipknot. What the hell?
Yeah, right. Totally.
And it started to make me appreciate it more. And then all of a sudden I'm talking to punk bands. I haven't listened to punk in a really long time, and I'm like, okay, now I'm listening to punk again. One of the first punk bands I talked to on the show is a band called Counterpunch. And
sick, yeah.
Counterpunch really kind of like, they brought me back into that. I miss rock. I mean, I miss punk. And then I talked to another band, a ska band that I haven't listened to ska since the 90s, but a ska band in California called Half Past Two. I started listening to them, and I was like, oh my God, I miss ska. It's like, don't limit yourself. Don't reach out and touch someone, with that music. That's what it's all about.
Totally. Yeah, we follow Half Past Two ska too on Instagram. They're sick. Dude, it's funny because we all like totally love metal, and we're actually planning to go swerve that direction for our next album. Been planning an album called Thrash and Isolation. And we have all these like metal jams, like instrumental songs that we play at shows, that we're gonna like compile into this album. And just all of the boys have been listening to lots of Slayer and Metallica and old Metallica and stuff. Yeah. So everyone's actually really frothed up to rage.
That just sounds awesome.
This is our pop punk album.
Yeah, this is where we're getting our emotions out, and the next one is just going to be a straight rage.
We're getting emotions out through pop punk, and then we're going to get them out through rage.
But I'll say one thing about I guess the versatility, and I guess just being able to appreciate lots of different types of music too. One thing that has benefited us in a good way is one, like just having all those metal jams. You can insert those in any set and kind of bring the energy back and bring it back up, which is great. But also, depending on who we're playing with, a lot of the time we can kind of cater our set a little bit to sound maybe a little bit more in line with whoever else is on the bill. We can, align ourselves with more hardcore bands or more metal bands if we want to, or we can align ourselves more with, kind of the indie or shoegaze or pop punk type thing as well. So it's been nice not, having the three influences of everyone writing the songs has really helped us in a lot of ways. I guess just as far as performing as well.
I would like say our last show in a homie's garage was really to electronic music style crowd. Like these people haven't even been to a punk show in forever since like high school. A lot of good friends that we just like, we'll actually set up speakers. We'll go out into the desert and set up speakers and just rave and not sleep and just party for like 3 weekends straight and listen to electronic music all weekend. Nice. And it's funny because I've always separated that side from like punk rock, because I normally, when it's not pandemic times, I'm at a punk show like 5 days a week because I'm just a fan supporting all the bands that support us as well. So when we're playing for a crowd of friends that I've been listening to electronic music with for a while, we didn't play the metal instrumentals, we didn't play the hardcore songs. We kept it straight up, but it was great. It was really funny because we had just an amazing response from this crowd of people that like would never go to a punk show. They were all like, man, this reminds me of high school, and like I forgot how much I love this music and stuff. So but yeah, we do actually take advantage of that, catering our style to the audience. We take advantage of that a lot.
And plus, if you're on a metal show, say for instance, like the last show that I saw, which was in 2019, Labor Day weekend in 2019 was a Slipknot show. And it was three other bands, a band called Behemoth and Gojira, which are two hard-ass fucking metal bands. But then there was a palate cleanser in between Gojira and Slipknot, a band out of Denmark called Volbeat. And Volbeat is kind of like a, even though they're from Denmark, they're like southern rock metal type Johnny Cash metal. It's very interesting how they pull it off, but it's very very different from the 3 other bands, and it was like a little palate cleanser in between to kind of get you kind of going for Slipknot. It was really interesting how they they planned it out that way. Even though,
cool.
but Volbeat is the bigger band of those 3, but and I like that, when you go to a show and you get a little palate cleanser of like, oh shit, why is this band booked with? Oh, I get it now. Okay, and it makes a little bit of sense because it kind of brings you into a different zone and gets you more ready for that headliner.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we've definitely played a good amount of shows with metal bands, and it's always, I've always noticed the crowd is stoked when there's kind of a variety, like playing at a show where it's all metal bands and maybe one punk band versus playing at a show where there's a little bit more diversity in it. I've noticed that the palate cleanser effect is really nice sometimes. And because 2 different metal bands, when you're stoked on metal, like they sound totally different, especially when you listen to them a lot. But when you listen to those 2 bands with something totally different in between, it like brings out the differences more. Whereas I feel like a lot of times when I'm at a show where the genre is just the same, I feel like I hear a lot of the same things in every band.
Yeah, it flows together. Yeah.
Yeah. But sometimes that flow is too much. It's almost like a little bit kind of boring because it flows together so much. I'm like, oh, I just saw these guys do this, the ticka. I just saw these guys do a skate punk beat. Now I'm watching these guys do a skate punk beat. So I feel like having something break it up is really nice.
Sometimes
Absolutely.
It's nice to have a dance moment in between a mosh moment.
Even just a hardcore band with a metal band.
Yeah, I mean, even like when I think I've seen rap artists do this, and I've seen hip hop artists do this, and I think a couple of rock artists have done this in the past too. Like they'll take an opening band with them, but they'll also take like a comedian. So I've seen
That's
that where
outside the box.
they'll have the opening band, then they'll have the comedian come on, and then they'll come on. So it's like, okay, it's I've seen that. I haven't seen it a lot, but I have seen that, and that's again another version of that exact same thing to kind of like get you ready for that main band. Because if the main band and your direct opening act do have similar styles, it does kind of flow together. So I remember the last time I went to, again, that band I was telling you about before, Nothing More, their opening band was a band called Of Mice and Men. And Of Mice and Men, so, and they sound completely, so I like that because they're a lot harder. They have a lot of screaming aspects, a lot of, really power riffs and stuff like that. And then leading straight into Nothing More, which has more melody and a lot of more singing and clean vocals and stuff like that. It's a nice flow.
Yeah, for sure. Of Mice and Men is a sick. Of Mice and Men is a sick one. That's an interesting one too, because they were like fully heavy, and then they went out and made like a pop song for the radio and just made it mainstream, and now they went back and are super heavy again. And I fucking love it, honestly. It's so cool.
One of the weirdest things I find about them, and I don't know if you guys know this, but there's not one original member in that band anymore.
No, I didn't know that at all, because it sounds like they went back to the original sound. I didn't realize that there's not actually.
No, the original lead singer, original frontman, I can't remember his name, but he has something called Marfan syndrome, which is like a form of gigantism, but it was really starting to affect him. I think that's what.
Wait, literally like Lenny from As Mice and Men or whatever, Of Mice and Men.
Well, yeah, kind of, yeah. But yeah, he had so I think it was Marfan syndrome. I think that's what it was. I might be mistaken. So nobody email me or DM me saying you're wrong. I'm saying I don't know. But either way, it became a point. I think his mom died of it, and then he got more progressively worse, and then he just couldn't perform anymore. So the bassist became the lead singer, but that bassist was also like their third bassist as well, and blah 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 blah. It's a completely different band, but yeah, if you go back and listen to some of their older stuff and then listen to their newer stuff, it definitely has a completely different tone to it. But yeah, but I fucking love Of Mice and Men. They're so fucking badass.
Hell yeah, that's so interesting. I didn't know that at all.
Yeah.
I just remember that I just remember them from back in the day being
I
heavy,
know. They
and
were
then hearing
sweet.
them on the radio with like a mellow song and being like, wait, what? This is on Mice and Men? No way. And then I looked them up and I was like, wait, but they're heavy again.
Yeah. You know, I wonder how much of that, you know, and actually I know the answer, but I still wonder how much of that is like band influenced and how much of that is management label influenced. Hey, we want to make you guys
Right.
bigger. Let's go ahead and just do a little fuck you teaser to the everybody else thinking that you're one way, and then they download your albums and like, holy shit, what the hell is this? Or they go buy tickets to the album and, you know, go tickets to a show, and you're like just fucking rocking out on stage, and you have no other song that sounds like that one song.
Yeah.
Because in my opinion, it would be a great brag.
Yeah.
It would be a great prank, in my opinion.
Yeah, I love it. That sounds super fun, honestly. Just like, why not? Why not have fun with it? If you like, just why not have fun with it? Sounds great.
Yeah.
Yeah, like for example, another idea like that would be like you guys release your single for the next album, which is you planning on making the metal album. But
Yeah.
you have
Oh,
that
yeah.
one really poppy ska song as number one, and then everything else after that is just fucking hardcore metal. It's be like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
And you would only release that as the single. That's the single, number one, and then everything else is just completely different.
Myles, take your prank idea into consideration,
Yeah,
man.
that's
That kind of sounds fun. I like
That's
that.
pretty good, honestly.
You know, there's only gonna be about 50,000 people that'll know the prank, so you know, whatever.
We'll keep it secret, just between us.
Us and, you know, the 50 or so thousand people that'll listen to this episode. Hey, Don't tell nobody.
Yeah.
don't tell nobody.
Don't tell anyone.
So when does this new album come out?
Well, I think sometime in July.
Yeah.
We're one half session away from finishing recording, so we just have a couple of backup vocals. Have to decide if we're happy with a couple of guitar solos.
Mhm.
We only have like one more 4-hour session in the studio. Then we're gonna we recorded all of our guitars direct into the computer with our producer. For all of these singles, we use that direct signal in all of the recordings, but for the full album, we're reamping all of our guitars. So yeah, we're sending out all of our recorded tracks through our guitar amps and then miking up our guitar amps so we get our guitar tone,
Mhm.
and so that the tone is better and just different, at least
Oh wow,
for the
that's cool.
album than for the singles.
And also kind of more representative of our actual live sound too.
Yeah. So
like
we're
that.
gonna so we're gonna finish up. We're gonna start the reamping at the end of this month.
Mhm.
So ideally, we have the album finished in the next couple weeks, and then we're not gonna like labor out a really long release or like be teasing it a bunch, because it's already. Well, in a way, we already have had a long release. We
Mhm.
released our first single with a lyric video last September. Then we released another one a couple weeks ago, and we have 2 more singles and music videos that we're releasing prior to the album. So we have one in the next month, and then we'll have one more that we're filming in the end of June. And so we're just gonna drop this album within probably a month or so after it's totally finished and mixed and mastered and everything. So we're thinking mid-July, but since we don't have the album in our hand yet, we haven't set a date.
Gotcha. So you're gonna mix it pretty quickly then.
Yeah, I mean, we have a really trusted friend and just member of the community, of the music community here, who does our production for us. His name's Wade Morris, and he has a company called Defiant Robot Records. And the Defiant Robot comes from when you're recording stuff and then you have like a random glitch or a sound somewhere. That's like the Defiant Robot that's sparking off.
I like
So it's
that.
got this robot with this logo with this robot, and there's lines kind of around him showing that he's angsty. That's just an angsty robot label. And so Wade's just the best, and he connected us with this guy Rob Nagelhout, who mixes all of our stuff, and this guy Jesse Cannon, who masters all of our stuff.
Mhm.
And they're both like total pros. So, I mean, they get our mixes and they can turn them around super fast. So I don't expect mixing the album to getting a first draft for the album probably won't take more than like a week or so from them.
Yeah.
And then the master is in really good hands. Like Jesse, he's done stuff for No Effects and Leftover Crack and like all the big names. He has a YouTube channel called Muse Formation that has like 100 videos on how to get your band from 0 to 10,000 fans that I've been like watching a lot and enjoying. So I have like we have like so much faith in our kind of production crew, and but in terms of mixing and mastering, it's more we send it off, we get it back, and we say what we want or don't want, and so that's really nice, not mixing our whole album or anything like that on our own, and it really helps having someone else's ears on it, especially because we have 3 different songwriters.
Mm-hmm.
It really helps having as many different people than us as possible kind of listen to it and give us their feedback. It really helps us to create an even sound. Whereas if any one of us was mixing the album, you know, we might like put our vocals a little bit higher, our guitar parts, you know, we might miss out on some of the gold that's in there from everybody else.
Yeah.
So we try to take as many decisions out of our hands as we can. That said, we do, you know, write and make, and basically we make all the decisions ourselves. Our producer is more of like a once in every 10 situations, do we actually listen to what he, or do we actually accept the thing that he says? We always listen, but we generally are making all of our own decisions on our own songs.
Yeah. I mean, aside from what he does, Wade at Defiant Robot Records, I mean, I cannot talk good about him enough. He's just a great friend, and we know that he also very much enjoys what we do. He's been to our shows and whatnot, and is a huge supporter of the band. So that's another reason, I guess, that we can really lean on him for any sort of decisions that we kind of can't come to ourselves. Not only is he very professional and understands what he's doing, but we know that he's there because he enjoys the music as well.
Yeah, and that's what matters the most, you know, because you know, when it is somebody that you can trust and appreciates your music as well, not just some hired gun just to do what somebody else tells them to do. That's what matters. And when you guys can find something like that, then you know you really can put out your best album.
Yeah, it was really cool because he actually kind of found us. We played a show with his band, Watashi Law Dance Party, and they're really into the Japanese skate punk that's out there, and ska as well. And so their whole show was just like 200 BPM plus, single kick, double time, just and we were just like circle pitting the whole show and having so much fun. And then after they played, and then we played, and then after we played, Wade was like, hey, you know, I just started a music production company. I've been recording for a long time. I did all of my band stuff, so you can go listen to that on Spotify. And, you know, I really love what you're doing. And if you guys are down, I would love to just, you know, be involved and help out recording or whatever. And we're like, well, funny thing is, we're about to start recording our first full-length album right now, so let's do it.
Awesome.
So it just came through playing shows. I mean, this show that we met him at was like, it was basically the bands where they're supporting the other bands, you know. It was basically an empty show at Tower Bar in San Diego, which we love to play at, but we played a couple empty shows there for sure. And so it just came out of another night, but I mean, you know, we just played the empty show as if it was a sold out show, and we got Wayne interested in us. So yeah, it really was just full-on community connection. It feels like he found us almost more than we found him.
Yeah, if you just stick to the music and are supportive to everyone in every situation, you know, good things will happen. You'll meet people who you'll stay connected with for a while. So that's what happened here.
That's awesome. And I cannot wait to hear it.
Neither can we.
The singles that have been released so far, I really dig, especially the new one, More Sunrises. It's really fucking cool. The video is great. The sound is really cool. It really kind of brings me back to, you know, other sounds that I really enjoyed that I've forgotten about. So, you know, for that, you know, thanks for, you know, just giving us a great tune to rock out to in the summer. And I hope that the rest of the album, you know, I know the rest of the album is going to be just as badass, but I can't wait to listen to it.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, we have a, well, the next single I was saying is more reminiscent of Title Fight almost, more kind of shoegazy and ambient, and really fun. I think it might be our most catchy song, made by our bassist. Then the single after that is the one that I made, and that comes in with like a full like lead guitar harmony, like a minor,
like some like thirds, like Iron Maiden sort of sounding intro.
Yeah,
Nice.
sort of
Take that one.
kind of like trooper-ish intro, and got some like like metal growls in it in the bridge. So
Very nice.
We actually, you might be most stoked on this one, and I just started setting up the video for it, and the idea that we were talking about, which is kind of going to be a metal style video in industrial zone with some like low opacity with some fire flames like over it and stuff. So yeah, if anything, it's just going to get a little bit more metal for you.
Nice. I love that. But again, I love that, you know, a band that can pull off the, you know, the eclectic music sound. You know, they're just a little bit of everything too. So I like that, you know, because then again, you get a palate cleanser listening to an album. So now I'm even more stoked for this album, man.
Great. Yeah.
Yes.
So everybody check out their socials down below. Watch the new video for More Sunrises. You're going to fucking love it. It's just quirky and funny and just a good song. And then follow their socials, therefore you know when the next single comes out and when the album comes out, hopefully in July. And we'll, you know, and I'll look forward to that, man, because again, I cannot wait to hear what it sounds like.
Great. Thank you, man.
Awesome, man. It's been really great talking to you, man. Thank you so much for having us.
Hey, no problem. It's my pleasure. You guys are fucking amazing, and like I said, I can't wait to hear what the new album sounds like.
Yeah, well, I hope to catch up with you soon, later down the line, once we get this album out and make some more bigger moves.
Absolutely. I'll be definitely contacting your PR guy. I'll be definitely contacting Mike because he's mine too. So
oh, that's awesome.
I stay in
Mike's
contact
the
with Mike quite frequently. So yeah, we'll definitely be in touch with that again because I definitely want to talk to you guys again once I hear the full album.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
All right, guys. Well, I appreciate you. And guys at home, thank you so much for joining us on this Monday edition of Suck It Podcast. Again, check out everything for Wanted Noise down below on the video or in the podcast, wherever you're listening. But thank you so much for being here. We will see you guys tomorrow. Stay happy, stay healthy, and as always, stay fucking heavy. We'll see you guys later. Peace.